Today we're visiting China's top university, and yes, I mean the very best. It's not just because this was the first university in the modern history of this country, but also because some of the people who ended up transforming its history were educated here, including Mao Zedong. And although he graduated from Changsha University, it was here where he spent some of his most formative years, working for the library at Peking University. In fact, it was right there where he eventually met some of the people with whom he ended up founding the Communist Party of China. But even though this place is full of extraordinary minds, today our guys will be a couple of Mexicans who, through hard work and dedication, have earned a place at this prestigious university. Today I'm honored and proud to introduce them. Join me in meeting them. We're arriving at the university complex, and it has one of the most epic entrances I have ever seen. This really screams Chinese university everywhere. Look at the west entrance. Many tourist groups visit the educational institution.
Wow, how handsome!
Welcome, my general.
Thank you, Mickey. To the University
of Peking. Greetings, I'm Mickey. I'm 25 years old. I'm from La Paz, Baja California Sur, and I'm a student at Peking University. I'm in the China Studies Master's Program, Chongguo Shui, and have lived in Beijing for about 6 years. I earned my bachelor's in Mandarin Chinese, and today we're at Peking University.
He's our guide today. Did Valeria and I have a premium guide, or was that the plan? Today we have a surprise because we don't have just one guide, we have two. I'll lend you a little microphone so you can introduce yourself.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Valeria and I'm from Chihuahua. I'm also studying here at the university, but I'm majoring in design and international relations.
Are you studying two majors? Yes.
Double major.
Do you graduate with everyone else, or does it take longer?
No, it's joint. It sounds
Tough, huh? In Chinese?
Yes, in Chinese.
How many years have you been here?
I've been here for 4 years now. Well, actually, this is my 4th year.
4th year? Yes. And how many do you have left?
Well, another 2 years.
My respects, huh? Honestly, the new generations are making it look like studying Chinese is a piece of cake. Because they not only master the language, but they're already studying professional careers. They don't realize how complex reading Mandarin Chinese is, much less studying it professionally. So my respects, thank you. Today they are going to be our guides. And what better than having local people take us around the places where they study, eat, and play. Well, I don't know if they play. Yes, there's plenty of time.
No, there is. There's time for everything.
For those who say there's no time, we're entering university and we don't know anything. Guys, what is this? Where are we? In which part of the university?
Well, this is an old international relations building. All of this right here. And then we're going to head over there, which is a very famous area.
I'm really loving how this university feels like being in a first world European city, but with a very Chinese entrance. And just look at the fields surrounding us, how well they're maintained, and they even have their own internal highways. Honestly, at Technological Campus Toluca, where I studied, we only have a parking lot at most. And we're talking about one of the highest level educational institutions we have in our country. It's a relatively small campus. And here the fact that you can see students on bicycles, on electric motorcycles, the streets they have for internal buses and so on is impressive. But this is just the beginning. We haven't seen anything yet, and I'm already pretty excited. I heard Vale arrived here on an electric motorcycle. You did, right? Are you here every day? On an electric motorcycle, yes.
Every day.
Days. And to go to class too? From one building to another? Yes, today
I'm going like this on the little scooter.
Hey, do you need a permit to bring an electric scooter to the university, or how does it work? No.
No, you don't need one. Everyone has an electric scooter here at the university.
Are the buildings far apart when you have to move between classes?
Honestly, no. It's not that far. The study area is further over there. This area here is more like offices or administrative spaces because the buildings are very beautiful, very cultural.
No, they're really beautiful. Just look, we're walking here and we have what looks like an attraction. A tourist attraction anywhere else in China, but it's just a regular building at Peking University. Just look at this area. It's like we're in an imperial palace or something. Isn't the whole campus like this?
No, not the whole campus. There's a part that's more modern. Hey!
Val, and what time is your class?
I have a class from 1 to 3 this afternoon.
What is your class about? It's
About criticism.
of art. In Chinese or in English? In Chinese? Are you in Chinese? In Chinese? That's crazy. I don't even know how to say art criticism. And
and Shua.
I mean, it's literally translated as art criticism. That's interesting. And you, when did you start studying Chinese? Well,
I started very early, I would say, like when I was 14 years old, I started studying Chinese.
I studied it for 3 years, took a break, then resumed. It's been a journey.
3 years. How far did you get? Could you say, I'm ready to study at a university in Chinese? No.
I think I reached about in Hanyu Shui Kaoshi 3 or 4, but to study here at the university, you need in Hanyu Shui Kaoshi 6.
So have you already passed level 6? Well, of course, I haven't even taken the exam. Imagine that. What was it that pushed you or motivated you to study Chinese, especially when you were 15 years old? Because it's getting popular now. Back then, if you mentioned China, people thought it was strange and asked why you'd want to go there. Why that language, right? What motivated you?
Mainly, it was the culture. I liked how a culture so different from ours can share so much, and artistically it's great. It has a history of over 4,000 years, and I wanted to understand it better. To truly understand a culture or people, you definitely need to study the language.
I completely agree, especially with a culture as deep as Chinese culture, right? Just think, when this university began, the Mandarin we speak today didn't even exist. Back then, classical Chinese was used, which less than 10% of the population could speak. At that time, a much more cultured language was used, which was reserved for scholars and in fact required a lot of knowledge of classical Confucianism. Because they had a 10-word sentence and could summarize it in 3. Do you remember what was that key moment when China got into your head? Was it a television show, a movie, a person?
I think it was the story of Mulan.
Ah, that's nice. Noelia loves it. We are
Here at Lake Sinhombre, I think it's one of the most representative lakes in the Haidian district because it's at Peking University. And its name reflects the humility of Chinese scholars who always try to devote themselves completely and wholeheartedly to the rigor of their studies, which to this day is what has driven China to become such a great, powerful and very interesting country as it is today. And so I take this opportunity to give you the gift that Valeria and I prepared for you with much affection.
the little clothes.
And the souvenirs from Peking University. Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mickey. He looks like Santa Claus, the Santa Claus of Chihuahua.
They treated us so well, seriously. We left with everything, even gifts.
Was it smarter, Mickey?
way more as it already was.
Well, we're well equipped now. We have the right clothes as we should. So now, Mickey, what's the plan for today? Let's go.
We're going to eat at the tastiest cafeteria on campus, and we're going to drop Valeria off at her classes. When we're done, we'll take a walk and go to the library.
All right, let's get started. It's a huge place. Peking University is so beautiful that people come here to take their wedding photos. For example, these two people who were probably classmates at some point, and today they come to celebrate it. With weddings, photos are essential. You can't have one without them, and they cost a fortune. The more attractive they are, the more reputation you gain by marrying them. What could be better than doing it at Beijing University? You have no idea how prestigious studying there is. Whether at Beidou or Tsinghua, where we filmed last time, having your wedding photos taken here earns you about 800,000 points.
It's the famous Poyabo Pagoda from Broad and Elegant. It's always a tradition among students in Beijing to come here and walk around it 3 times. There's a saying that if you walk around it 3 times, you'll graduate. So, if you want, we can take a little walk around it.
I love how, in such a symbolic, beautiful place, they put the complete symbol of capitalism right there. Here, we have the monumental pagoda, which is a symbol of the school's mythology, where students come to pray so they can graduate. And right in front, Starbucks.
The pagoda is highly symbolic, standing 37 meters tall with 13 floors. Can you see the little animals there in the corner? They represent the hierarchy in the classification of spiritual levels. This pagoda, beyond how beautiful it is, has a lot to do with the poem that Chinese children study in elementary school, which ends with Teng Shan and Zheng Luo. You want to open your mind, you want to fill yourself with knowledge, with wisdom, you need to climb one more floor. And that's the symbolism created here beside the nameless lake at Peking University, which is so important to students. Hey, Mickey.
I've heard that Chinese students in high school aren't allowed or aren't encouraged to dress up, like styling hair or wearing fashionable clothes, because they need to focus on their studies, which is exactly your point.
Priority.
The priority has to be studying, taking it seriously. There will be time to enjoy later on. And right in front of the lake and the pagoda, we have the souvenir cart because this is like a tourist resort. You can come buy the backpack, the notebook, the cup, the keychain, for your cousin, for your friend.
It's really important. You can't come here and not take a little souvenir. What do you think about these little magnets? 22 yuan.
They even have popsicles. Like in all the tourist areas in the country, you can't go without popsicles. What for?
For the photo.
Miki is telling me that this is a huge campus, that it's more than 3 kilometers long, and that's why rental bikes are allowed on campus. All those yellow and blue ones you see around are actually rentals, and there's no problem with that. You can rent them outside and bring them to the university. Can you return them here? Yes.
Just leave them parked, it's fine. These already...
They're buildings where classes are held, the modern part of the university.
This is the School of Informatics, Jishuang Chongshin, but the one in front is Guanhua Shuyuan, the most prestigious business school in China. It has a lot of requirements to get in. If I remember correctly, you need to be a business owner making around 200 million yuan. Many Mingxins and government officials come for education. Lately, they have a lot of classes about artificial intelligence, and I had to take an artificial intelligence class with them. It's very famous in China. If you tell a Chinese person, I graduated from Beidang Guanhua Shuyuan, no man, it's too much mianzi, too much face, yes.
Mickey mixes Chinese and Spanish terms since his girlfriend is Chinese.
Yes, Mickey, Peking is Muslim?
I mean, he has the Beijing accent.
They speak abruptly, that's just how it is.
Mickey lives with his girlfriend, so his daily interactions are completely in Mandarin now, so his brain starts to change. Many people think this is exaggerated or that you're just trying to be interesting, but it's true. To really be able to assimilate the language, you have to switch your mindset and start thinking in that language. And one of the biggest mistakes is that most of us who learn languages spend a lot of time memorizing words, but not enough time putting them into practice during real conversations. This is the School of Computer Science. And what I found really interesting is that in the middle of the school they have badminton or pickleball courts. It depends on what you want to use them for, because in China nowadays sports are highly encouraged, and universities are no exception. In fact, at Tsinghua University, Max told us that they are required to take sports classes. Is it the same here, Mickey? Do you have to choose too?
No, it's not as strict as at Tsinghua, but it is strict. Computer science classes, econometrics classes, data, everything you need to take your thesis to a more qualitative level. Even though it's Peking University, Zhejiang Daxue, where Neto graduated, is already a strong competitor with significant momentum. They developed DeepSeek and all that there, so...
That's what many of us in the West still don't understand. China isn't competing against the West, China is competing against itself, and that's why it's unstoppable. Here they have food carts. They sell you hot dogs or completo, as they say in Chile, burritos, and right now we're about to eat. But they're telling me that this university also has a lot of cafeterias, right? About how many do they have? Like
10, I think.
They even have their own versions of McDonald's, supermarkets and everything. Just like at Tsinghua University, there's a lot of traffic. People are going from building to building, changing classes, and they're in a hurry. Because here, if you don't arrive on time... What happens if you don't arrive on time, Mickey?
The teachers get really upset, right?
They don't let it slide. In general, are Chinese students much more punctual, or would you say...
A lot more.
We arrived here at the cafeteria. This is one of the many they have. It's relatively small, but it's close by and really good.
And this one is called Yan'an.
Hey Val, are there Western and Chinese food cafes here? Yes, that's fancy. Wow.
It's 2 stories, yes.
So first let's find a place to sit. What?
Yes.
What kind of food can we find here? Are there foods from different provinces, like food from Chengdu?
Yes, exactly. For example, here it's like Zhezi Shaoshan, which are specialties but with vegetables and meat. And then further over there we have food from Guangxi, which is
From the Canton area.
Here's malak sango, a very famous dish.
Not suitable for people with gastritis.
And then here we have the noodles in front, and everything else is just general food.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's choose something. I'm impressed with the prices, because it's gourmet food at student prices. Here, the most expensive dish I'm seeing is 8 yuan, which is approximately 20-something Mexican pesos. It's like $1 and a few cents for a full meal that fills you up. They even have fruit. They have a fruit stand. Apples, peaches, bananas. Apparently, the biggest challenge here is finding a place to sit. There's nowhere to sit. There are so many people that it's impossible. And here, 12 o'clock is the sacred hour for eating. And right now, it's 12:36. So we arrived at rush hour. Here, to pay, you have an app. Do you top it up? How does it work?
I top up the app, I put money into it through WeChat or Alipay, and then I pay.
You only find this in a Chinese university. We bring food from Chongqing here, food from Sichuan. We have some vegetables for digestion. Over here in this machine, they have chopsticks and spoons. And here is our food. We have some ribs. We have, I think this is nongjia xiaochaoro, which is eaten a lot in Sichuan. These are very spicy Chongqing noodles, and they can't be missing from any Chinese meal.
You always have to have nurufen or white rice. Enjoy, guys, enjoy.
We're done with the food now, and I have to say it was exquisite. The noodles were extraordinary. They have a high-end coffee shop here, similar to a local Starbucks.
Hey, that's crazy, isn't it?
Since the noise level in Chinese coffee shops shows they're not really for hanging out and chatting, right?
It's pretty quiet here.
And it's because the students at these universities, once they're done with their classes, go to study spaces, which could be the university's coffee shop or some 24-hour coffee shops, since studying never stops.
This is where people graduate. A Mexican from Veracruz graduated here in the summer. Jesus, from the Faculty of Law. This place is very iconic.
Hey, well, congratulations to Jesus.
Then you see that building here. It starts to get more...
Modern.
Yes, Hong Kong style.
That's true. This is a different part.
Neoclassical.
Exactly. Here, instead of imperial buildings, we see a more sober style of architecture. It may not stand out for its color or beauty, but it's still impressive. What are these classrooms?
Yes, these in front.
And this is where you have your class.
My class is in front, and there's another cafeteria on the right.
Is this all the cafeteria?
They're all cafeterias.
This is a cafeteria. It's a huge cafeteria.
I think our university was about that size.
The library at the Technological where I studied wasn't this big.
From here you can see the logo of Peking University.
Lu Xun designed it, right? The first logo designed for Peking University was created by a writer, poet, and all-around expert in Chinese philosophy named Lu Xun. He is highly respected in this country and, at the same time, studied at this university. As I was saying, this educational institute has cultivated some of the most important minds in this nation. Chen Duxiu served here as director, along with some of the initial members of the Communist Party. So just imagine how important this place is. It has tremendous historical significance. All of this...
They are
Study classrooms. Is this where your class is? Yes, we already checked on her since she's late. We already left Val in her classroom. Obviously, we can't go in, but I want to show you what one looks like. Here, students arrive early to study or to rest for a while. And this is what a classroom looks like at the #1 university in this country. What is this, Mickey? Tell me, what the heck is this?
Only God knows, right? Is it math?
Do you already understand this?
Obviously not.
No, I think that...
It's even sadder that he doesn't understand it, because if he doesn't get it, then we have no hope. Pauline.
Man, is this a language? Yes. Can you understand it? Yes. What's your profession? Can I see your profession?
Yes, I'm looking at your book.
Oh, but is your book in English? Is it an English one or English?
Yes, it's an English course, and the book is in English.
Is it very hard? Yes, it's hard. Are you used to it? Yes, the teacher's desk has a computer here. But interestingly, in one of the most technological universities in the world, they still use the classic chalkboard, which can be quite annoying. Yes. They also have the whiteboard, which is a screen. They also have microphones up there so everyone can hear, because it's very big, the classroom. And outside the classrooms, they have hot water machines.
Beidou is generous. Beidou used to charge me for water.
They say, you worked hard to get in, so once you're there, take all you can. See, the students leave class and immediately start studying again. The studying never ends. And outside the classrooms, they have the little corner store.
How far does Mexican ingenuity go?
They have the Bimbo Bear, look.
With Chinese beans of all flavors, even cookie flavor.
The Bimbo products you don't see in Mexico.
Green tea flavor, just look at that.
Wild. They don't just have Bimbo. The cafe system is impressive because there's no table service. But here are the machines where you come, scan your products, and then all you have to do is tap with your phone to make your payment. You don't need to touch the screen, you don't need to open any app, you just have to tap to pay. Inside the university, they have parking lots for electric motorcycles, since the campus is so big that students need a means of transportation to get to their classes. Actually, a lot of traffic builds up on this university's streets. But the most impressive thing is that inside the campus they have these machines where students can recharge their batteries. And that's exactly what these places are about. Look, for example, she's going to scan her QR code. This is her battery. They're lithium batteries. And I asked her, but can you only put in lithium ones? She told me, nowadays they're all lithium. Man, we're in the first world.
The future is now, old man.
Look, there's your battery. You have to grab it. And that's it.
Hey, do you notice how they leave things out in the open like that? They even left their milk and nothing happens.
It's impressive. People here leave anything out. That person even left their backpack. In fact, I could just take this bike for a ride right now.
Security is on another level.
It's another level. Behind me is the library of Peking University, which is one of the most iconic places in the whole country, because it was precisely in the library of this university where Mao Zedong worked. However, it was not in this library, but in the previous one, which is much closer to Tiananmen. And that's because in the year 1952, the library was moved to this part of the city, which is about an hour from downtown. Still, these walls hold one of Asia's largest academic collections. Since within these walls there are more than 10 million volumes, including rare books, manuscripts, and ancient documents that date back several centuries. The architecture is quite classical, but it was actually inaugurated in 1975, and in 1988 it was expanded with a new wing that today covers more than 50,000 square meters. Unfortunately, today we won't be able to go inside since they have a very strict system and only registered students with a card can enter using facial recognition. Because we're not in this elite group of extraordinary students, we can't go in. We had no choice but to send good old Mickey to take some shots, which are the ones you're seeing on screen right now. So give a like for Mickey and for Vale, who are doing an awesome job. Strictly speaking, this wasn't the first university in the country, but it was the first university recognized by the Chinese government in the year 1898. At that time, this university was founded as part of an attempt to modernize China, after centuries of imperial education based on Confucian classics. Therefore, you could say that this was the first modern university in the country. Soon, it became the intellectual center where ideas that would transform China's history were debated. As I mentioned to you earlier, figures like Li Dazhao, Chen Duxiu, and even Mao Zedong studied here. From the library of the old campus of the Red Building, they gave rise to the May 4th movement. And with all this, what was the May 4th movement? Well, the May 4th movement... It was a student protest that broke out in 1919 in Beijing, led by the students of this university, which quickly became a national movement for cultural, political, and intellectual renewal. But to understand it, you have to understand the situation in China at that time, since after World War I, China was trying to recover territories that had been occupied by Germany. However, through the Treaty of Versailles, these territories were not returned to China, but were instead given to Japan. And as expected, that caused terrible outrage throughout the population, especially among the students. From then on, thousands of young people, teachers, and intellectuals gathered in front of Tiananmen to protest, shouting things like, "Fight for national sovereignty, expel the traitors," and all kinds of complaints. However, this movement was much more than a political protest, as it became a cultural and intellectual revolution through which young people began to question the traditions of the past and promote new ideas such as science, democracy, and the use of common language for teaching. Because keep in mind that in the early years of this university, teaching was done in the classical language, which very few people knew. So education wasn't available to most citizens. So, in a way, you could say that the May 4th movement was born within this university. And thanks to the May 4th movement, modern China was born. But having said that, let's continue with the tour. A round of applause for our cameraman Mickey. Thanks to him, we have footage of the library. By the way, Mickey, you have social media, right?
Sure, I'm on Instagram and TikTok as El Chino Mikilin.
You'll find many interesting videos there. Follow Mickey's journey. Mickey, you're 25, right?
The little friends.
Hey, hello.
Tian Shan.
It's a dream for young students. Believe it or not, Chinese people dream that their children can come to universities like these. There are families who move to other cities to give their children better opportunities to get into this university. It's not like in Mexico, where you can apply to any university you want. You have to get a certain score on the Gaokao, which is the Chinese college entrance exam, and only then do you have the chance to submit your application. Otherwise, it's not possible. So, let's say that you can't choose the university, instead the university has to choose you. And that's so complicated for this university that parents literally pray for their children to be able to get in here. To these kids, this is the National Football League, the World Cup final, and Mickey is here.
There are extreme cases of parents who go to countries like Papua New Guinea and get a passport through an investor visa so that they can come to Peking University as foreigners.
It's easier for foreigners to get in, right?
As foreigners, we don't have that Gaokao barrier. However, we do have an interview, an entrance exam, a research proposal, and letters of recommendation. In fact, it's much easier as a foreigner to apply to prestigious universities like Peking University, Cheyenne University, and Tsinghua University.
Careful. That doesn't mean it's easy, it means it's easier, but it's still difficult. So don't go thinking that just because you're foreigners, they're going to give you a free pass. You have to put in a lot of effort and stand out among the foreign students who apply. And this, yes, remember it well. It's going to get harder and harder because China is starting to take off in terms of popularity. This won't stop. In 10 years, attending this university will be nearly impossible. So, if you want to do it, this is the perfect time. And I'd say you're already a little late, so give it some thought. That building is the gym, right?
Our humble gym.
Our humble gym looks like a first division stadium. Here, next to the gym, there's a structure that really resembles the hutongs of Beijing. If I turned around and realized there's a huge gym behind me, I'd feel like I'm anywhere in the typical hutong area of Beijing.
They do ballet here.
Ballet?
The gym bros.
The gym bros can't be missing. Here they have their corner store to buy protein. But the most impressive thing is behind door number 1, since here they have an Olympic stadium that was built for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. In fact, it even says so on the roof.
As you mentioned, the Olympic Badminton Stadium. Here, if you come on the weekend, you can see the elderly playing and chatting. The atmosphere is great today.
Not everyone can say they're going to play a pickup game during recess in an Olympic stadium, but here in Beijing, that's a reality. The students come to play a pickup game in an impressive stadium.
There's the Chinese Walmart.
The Chinese Walmart.
Here, next to the Chinese Walmart, we're going to the university market where you can find everything. And it's specifically designed so you don't have to worry about anything else except studying and working on your thesis.
I think we have a bakery.
Of course, we have all kinds of pastries.
Come here. They have a place to print your homework, the Cyber Cafe. What's this?
To repair your cell phone, to get your Chinese phone number, the keychain to take your dorm keys. Everything. The photo studio.
People come here to take their graduation photo, the photo for their passport. Ah, this is for you, right, Mickey?
Yes, to get the graduation for the glasses, whatever you need.
Come here, we have a fruit shop. You really don't have to go out for anything. You have everything from nuts and candied fruits to apples, bananas, and chopped fruit. You can make your nutritious breakfast here because look, a brain needs nutrients, it needs vitamins.
Suits and the flower shop. When a friend graduates, you buy flowers.
You can also come to repair or wash your clothes. I've done it and the service is great.
Is this everything? How much does a costume cost?
A truck costume? No.
I think, wow, how much does it cost? Look, the lady even sells shoes and belts. That's pretty cool overall.
It's 1500.
And are your eyes very beautiful?
Very beautiful.
Yes, Blue, I really like them.
Thank you, thank you.
Can you do anything else, please?
Cheap? How?
What's your name, pretty lady? We're already giving you compliments, so you'll give us a discount. Hello, hello, hello. Wow, very beautiful. Is there already a boyfriend or not?
No, there isn't.
Oh, didn't you put on some clothes?
You also buy flowers for friends.
Hasn't anyone ever just shown up with flowers for you?
You remember it.
Val, what year did you start university?
I started in 2022, around October, something like that.
In October, before the country closed?
Yes, but it was just starting to open, like a little window. It opened for international students. The university greatly assisted us in entering the country.
How was your process to get into the university? First of all, did you go to high school in Mexico?
Yes, I attended high school in Mexico and then worked for about a year as a Chinese and Spanish translator. After improving my Chinese, I applied and was accepted. And to take the classes, I think I took about half a year online, but it was terrible because I had math classes at 3 in the morning. I couldn't do it like that. And then, around October, they told us we could come. So you had to have your 3 vaccines and then wear your mask. As soon as we arrived at the airport, they put us on buses and took us to a hotel. We had quarantine for about 2 weeks.
And what was the application process?
First of all, I applied for the scholarship, for the China Scholarship Council scholarship. You apply via the embassy, select 3 universities, and your admission depends on which one accepts you. The embassy assists by sending your documents, then the university decides on your acceptance. That's basically it.
What are the requirements to apply for the scholarship?
You need Mandarin Chinese skills, and if your major involves mathematics, you also need strong math skills.
What does the scholarship include? There are various types. Which one do you have?
I have the full scholarship. They pay for the dormitory, they pay your tuition, and then they also give you a monthly allowance.
That's great. And many people ask us how they can apply for the scholarship if it's very difficult. Look, you have to be prepared. They're not just going to hand out scholarships, especially the full one. You have to be an outstanding student. We're talking about the fact that there are 1.4 billion Chinese people here fighting for a spot. And the fact that you come as a foreigner means you have to come and give your best. That's the first step. If you meet it, many scholarships exist, but many people think they're impossible to get and don't apply. You should apply since there are many opportunities. What other scholarships exist?
There are also municipal scholarships, for example, from Shanghai or Zhejiang, and there are also scholarships from the universities themselves.
So, there are options.
What percentage of those options would you say are actually taken advantage of? Oh, I think Latinos don't take advantage of them that much, because there are so many international students who know these scholarships exist and they apply. And they come. From Asian countries, but honestly, I haven't heard of many Latinos.
Apply for scholarships. We want you to join our next adventure.
GIU and the largest cafeteria has 4 floors. The first floor offers a tasty Chinese buffet and a variety of breakfast options. Then, on the second floor, they have specialties, food from Japan, Korea, Chongqing, and other different places. And the 4th floor is open to visitors, and they have a really good bakery. This is the 3rd floor, and it's the one I come to most often to eat, and back there is where they have the food.
It has a piano in the middle. Peking University students have stylish breakfasts. Plus, they're among the world's top students. Surely 9 out of 10 of them play the piano, so one of you two has to play.
Here we are at the bakery of Beijing University. Something really nice here is that the theme is the university.
They have drawings of the university on the cakes.
Then the university's beautiful logo. We're buying it.
I think they're filled with sweet bean paste, right? The classic kind. In case the cafeterias aren't enough, you can come to a hot pot restaurant. And you don't need to come with a group of students, since they have individual versions of hot pot. In these, you can come alone, prepare your own hot pot, order your ingredients, and eat without anyone bothering you, except for me, since I'm recording. Traditionally, hot pot is a meal to share. It's a meal you come to with a group, with your family. You sit at a round table like this. All the ingredients go in the center and are shared. This truly reflects this country's collective culture. Here, since it's a university, there's an individual version. It's interesting how outside the university, they leave all the fast food packages, which would be like the equivalent of Uber Eats or Rappi, and nobody takes them, so you can see that anyone could take one of these packages and they just leave them here. Outside, there's no problem at all. And that's something I really envy, because the only problem you might have is the rain, which probably already made their food cold and it's going to taste soggy, but nobody is going to take it. So, as long as you come to pick it up, it's there. And well, now we leave the university just to go back into the university. Why did the Mexicans cross the street?
I don't know why.
To get to Vals's house.
We're already entering where the foreign students live. It's called Zhongguan Xinyuan, also known as Global Village in English. We crossed the bridge to get here. So it's 2 minutes from the university, and there are many buildings inside, about 6 different ones. And we also have a hotel for people who come to stay. Like, I don't know, our parents, friends, family members, whatever. And if you're a student, do they give you a student discount? I think they give you like 80%. No, it was the other way around. I mean, they give you 20%. Yes.
Here it works differently. If they say 80%, you only pay
20%.
I still get confused. Then in the stores I get confused. Can Chinese people live in these buildings or only foreigners?
No, only foreigners live here.
And the dormitories? Are they shared or single rooms? How does it work?
Well, we have different types. There are single rooms, and we also have shared ones. For 2 people, 4 people, 3 people. And in my case, since I'm a scholarship student, I have a building where the scholarship students stay, and there, it's shared rooms.
Are you sharing with a roommate? Yes. In a way, you could say they're like the basic level of dorms, right? But still, it's 2 people, yes, because if you were Chinese...
4 people in a room.
So there's still a level in the underworld of dormitories.
Yes, there is.
Only for Chinese people.
It's just that the Chinese dormitories cost very little. You pay about 800 yuan per year, if I'm not mistaken, so it's very cheap. And here, for foreign students, they pay about 110 yuan per night, which comes out to 3,000 and something yuan per month.
And from there it increases. The dorm is included with your scholarship, right?
That's right.
How does that work? When applying for the scholarship, do you request a full scholarship or do they decide what you get? How is it?
Yes, when I applied for the scholarship, you apply for the full scholarship and it tells you that the dormitory is already included. So when you come here, they already know, they have your dorm prepared for you, you come and there's no problem.
And when you have a scholarship, is there an option to say, the scholarship gives me this, but I want to pay a little extra, maybe for a single room?
No? Of course, you pay for your own room. You're rejecting the room the scholarship gives you, but they also give you 700 yuan more, which is like for renting.
Is there an age limit for the scholarship?
Yes, for undergraduates, the age limit is 25.
Oh man, I don't qualify anymore.
You're already... But can you get a master's degree?
Up to what age?
The master's degree? I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe around 35. Yes, 35 or 40.
I'll stay. What year are you in? Let's see. Tell us, Val. Give us a virtual tour of your room.
We're here. There are Kuwaiti lockers and Hui Mai lockers for food. You scan, take your food, and put packages over there. If you receive a package or shop online, they'll place it in the locker for you.
You just scan, grab your package, and we head to our building.
So we get to the entrance, we scan our face, and then I go up in the elevator and walk down the hallway. There's a kitchen on each floor and a place to wash clothes and sneakers. Then I go to my room.
And what is the room like?
It's relatively big compared to the other rooms. I open the door, and on my right-hand side we have a sink. And then right in front we have a bed with its desk and its yigai, with its closet. Yes, the closet. And then in front we have the window, along with the other person's bed, the desk, and the other person's closet.
How big is the room?
It's about 30 or 50 meters. Honestly, I've gotten along well with all my roommates. Right inside my building, you go up, and then on the second floor, there's a little hallway, which is exactly this one we're looking at here. And it takes us to a library that's up here where we can study, and then down here, we have another restaurant that's more upscale, you could say.
Well, of course, it's the global village, right? Don't you agree? They fed them rice and socks. And you were telling me that besides, they have a gym, right?
Yes, we have a gym here and it's like Tishia, like underground.
We don't even translate from Chinese to Spanish anymore. We go from Chinese to English and then you have to think about it. Earlier, I mentioned that many think it's just for show, but when you live in another language, your brain switches regions. It's inevitable. But look, there are more badminton courts here. If the Olympic Stadium isn't enough, you can come to the Global Village. No way, they have bowling. This is what sells. Because I told Mickey that over at Tsinghua, people were impressed that they had snowboarding. But an ice skating rink can't compare to having a bowling alley in your dorms. Just imagine, any day you can come here to play a game with your friends, order some beers.
That's awesome. Are you students? Do you live here, or are you just visiting for fun?
So that means regular students can come here too. That's great. How much? 1 hour costs 60 yuan to bowl. With 10 people each pays 5 yuan. Tell us your story with China. How did you fall in love with China and how did you end up here?
I'm from La Paz, and when I graduated from high school, I started studying economics. And there, in my economics classes, I had a really good teacher. A teacher and businesswoman who teaches not out of need, but for enjoyment and dedication. She was the one who introduced me a little to China because she always talked about China. A very booming economy. She called it the Asian tiger. I remember I asked her, "Teacher, why do you always talk about China? I don't understand." She told me, "I'll leave that as homework for you." So I went home and looked it up. Something that really stuck with me was that, according to the data, China was growing steadily at 5% back then, and that growth equaled the entire Mexican economy. I said, that can't be. China adds a whole Mexico in growth every year. I thought, they're doing something right here, and I would really like to go study there. That's where it began. I started dreaming about it, researching programs, and looking into scholarships, but I kept it all in my heart without telling anyone. Until the moment I found a really good scholarship at Shanghai University. In economics, I told my mom and dad about it. At first they said, no, it's too far, don't go. And I was the youngest of the three, so my mom really felt it, but they always supported me and were there for me. When I was about to come to China for the first time, it was my mom who used money from her Instituto Mexicano del Seguro Social retirement so I could come, and that's something I'm really grateful for. And from then on, that was it. I spent some time at Shanghai University studying economics. However, like Valeria, at University College London, they require you to take a Mandarin Chinese exam, an economics exam, and a math exam, and all three are in Chinese. And wow, the level of math they use at the university is very different from the level of math that Chinese students handle in high school. So I remember very well that to take that exam, I had a really hard time. I worked day and night. I would ask my teachers at the Technological Institute, how do I solve this derivative, this equation? Very advanced set theory. And even the teachers themselves didn't know. They're different subjects, but that helped me a lot to have the foundation. When I joined Shanghai University, I transferred to Beijing Language and Culture University, which credited my year, letting me start in the third semester. During COVID, I took online classes from Mexico after spending 2 or 3 years in China. From midnight to 5 in the morning, my hair fell out, I gained weight, but I didn't give up. Many friends went to other universities in Mexico, but for me, in my heart, it was... Since arriving in Shanghai in 2019, my eyes were open to the world. It was my first time going abroad, so I wanted to keep learning to stay in China. So I set out to graduate with a bachelor's degree in Chinese, and thank God I did it. I graduated from the University of Culture and Language, then applied to Beijing University, and up to now, I'm pursuing a master's in Chinese studies in China, and I still can't believe it. Yeah, it still hasn't sunk in since it's such a prestigious university. No dream is too small. I would encourage you to take the opportunity to keep China in your heart. It's a country worth studying. Because of the lack of knowledge that exists between our cultures, which are the Mexican culture and the Chinese culture, I say that today, more than ever, it's very important to keep strengthening the bond, which is very beautiful.
Even if you don't know perfect Chinese or all the words, everything can still be studied and learned.
I love it. Because it's very true. Many times you feel like you're not ready. Taking the leap is what really prepares you. I can't imagine the feeling of ecstasy, not just yours, but your parents as well. Yeah, seeing everything both of you are achieving on the other side of the planet. Even I feel proud, and it excites me a lot because there are many people who are going to watch this video and will look up to you as an example. Well, I want to thank you very much for the time you've given me today. I took up a whole day of yours. There will be some questions from the audience that we probably won't have time to include in this video. So you can follow us on Instagram.
So the Chinese guy, Mickey Lin, as the very famous saying from the first Mandarin Chinese textbook goes, where there's a will, there's a way. So go for it. China today is a country with many opportunities. It's a big challenge, but it also brings rewards.